enjoyed working with this piece with the kids from Westfield, and they really enjoyed playing it. One thing that's really kind of neat about this opportunity for the bands to all perform together is that when they all come to junior high next year, they will be, this will be our 7th grade band next year. And if you didn't know, I am the junior high band director, and I direct the 7th and 8th grade bands. And I'm just so excited to work with this group next year. As you can tell, that there's a lot of natural talent in here. So we like to give our New Orleans piece a whirl, and it's called 12th Street Rag. Probably heard by Evan Roberts. I'd like to stand and acknowledge that because it was a kind of a difficult little solo. I'd next like to have Mr. Herbst come back and conduct Heard It Through the Grapevine. We'd like to end the concert with a piece that maybe you'll recognize if you've seen the movie, The Little Mermaid. This is called Under the Sea. I'd like to take this opportunity now to invite you to our Ice Cream Social Junior High Band concert, which is May 1st on Monday night, and there's ice cream sundaes being served afterwards for $1.50 each, and this concert will feature our 2 8th grade bands and our 7th grade bands, so if you don't have anything to do, please come on out. We'd love to have you, and thank you for coming, and thanks for being such a great audience.